Alright, so good day everyone. So let's have this next sample problem with regards to our design of singly reinforced beam. So the question is, design the required tensile reinforcement for a rectangular reinforced concrete beam with a width of 310 millimeter and an overall depth of 550 millimeter. The beam has a simple span of 10 meters and supports a superimposed dead load of 10 kilonewton per meter, not including the beam self-weight and a live load of 15 kilonewton per meter. Use F prime C is equal to 32 megapascal, Fy is equal to 420 megapascal, diameter of rebar is 24 millimeter, and the diameter of stirrups is 10 millimeter. Concrete cover is 40 millimeter, and the concrete unit weight, which is 23.5 kilonewton per cubic meter. Determine the required steel area and the corresponding number of reinforcing bars. Okay, so this portion class, this is also a design for our singly reinforced beam. So what we can do here is of course hanapin natin kung ilan yung bakal na magkakasya sa ating tension, especially on this part, okay? So since yung given dito is a simple supported beam, of course, yung maximum capacity ng ating moment, it will occur doon sa ating midspan, okay? Which is yung ating compression ay matatagpuan sa itaas and yung ating tension ay matatagpuan naman dito sa lower part. So what we can do here, given tayo ng width which is 310 millimeter and given tayo ng overall depth. So wag kayong malito doon sa term natin na effective depth which is location coming from compression up to the tension, which is yan yung magiging preliminary steps natin. So we need to determine first what is the effective depth. So which is simply the total height minus the location of centroid. Of course, yung ating location ng centroid, best to assume that this is a single layer. So that's why yung ating formula na gagamitin for our location of the centroid for our tensile reinforcement here is this one, which is concrete cover plus diameter of stirrups and then the half of the diameter of the main reinforcement. Substitute everything. What we have here is 550 minus 40 plus 10 plus 24 over 2. So which is our effective depth is now equal to 488 millimeters. So yan yung gagamitin natin all throughout in our design. So which is another preliminary steps that we need to consider here is the determination of our beta 1 or the stress block factor. Okay, so which is coming from the table 422.2.2.4.3. By simply using this criteria, which is this is dependent on our F prime C. Our F prime C here is equal to 32 megapascal. That's why this will now in between 28 and 55 megapascal. Okay? So, ibig sabihin lang nito, since nasa gitna ngayon yung ating 32 megapascal ng 28 and 55 megapascal, itong formula na po ang ating gagamitin. So, we will use the beta 1 here which is 0.85 minus 0.05 multiplied by our F prime C which is 32 and the 28 megapascal. And after that, we need to divide it to 7. So that our beta 1 here is now equal to 0.821. Okay? So, our design strength moment, kasi nakuha na natin dito yung ating beta 1 and we have of course yung ating effective depth. So, para makuha natin kasi dito yung ating strength design moment or yung bending moment na gagamitin, since hindi siya given sa ating sample problem, what we can do here is we need to consider first our load cases. Okay? So, dalawang load case yung binigay sa atin. First is the dead load. So, given tayo ng superimposed dead load and then yung ating self-weight. Since binanggit din dito sa ating problem na yung dead load na given, hindi pa kasama dito yung ating self-weight. So that yung superimposed dead load, i-add natin dito yung kanyang self-weight. Of course, yung self-weight dito is the self-weight of our concrete beam. And to determine the self-weight of the beam, what we need to do here is we need to multiply the given concrete unit weight on our section or yung sa area natin. So of course, yung kanyang linear distance dito ay in terms of meter, dapat yung maging linear distance sa ating area, it should be also in meters. Okay? Kasi ang given lang dito ay in terms of millimeters. Okay? So, substitute muna natin yung mga givens para makuha natin yung total dead load. So, our superimposed dead load, given siya as 10 kilonewton per meter plus the self-weight of the beam. Since concrete yung ating beam, so we will use the unit weight of 23.5, then multiply lang natin sa kanyang cross-sectional area. So, please take note, kaya may nakikita kayo ditong 1,000 raised to 2 dahil yung square millimeters, ko-convert natin siya into square meters. That's why, if you are trying to add this overall for our dead load, this is now equal to 14.007 kilonewton per meter. Of course, kung meron tayong dead load, meron din binanggit na live load. But yung ating live load here, we will just use yung given itself, which is the 15 kilonewton per meter. Okay? So, para makuha natin yung ultimate uniform load, since magde-design nga tayo dito at in the first place, hindi talaga given dito yung bending moment, kailangan natin siyang makuha. And dapat yung kukunin nating ultimate moment, dapat yung uniform loading niya, it should be in a ultimate condition. That's why, since meron tayong dead load and live load, ang gagamitin nating load combination para makuha natin yung ating ultimate uniform load is the 1.2 dead load plus the 1.6 live load. So by the way, yung load cases na kinonsider natin dito, this is just simply in terms of service load. Ibig sabihin lang po ng service load, hindi pa po siya naka-factor para makuha natin dito yung ultimate load or ultimate condition. Okay? So, substitute lang natin yung ating dead load and live load so that our uniform ultimate load is now equal to the 1.2 times 14.007 plus 1.6 multiplied by 15 kilonewton per meter. So that our ultimate uniform load is now equal to 40.808 kilonewton per meter. So ibig sabihin lang nito class, ito na po yung uniform load na gagamitin natin para makuha na po natin dito yung bending moment na gagamitin for our design. Of course, it should be in a ultimate condition. So please take note, ang beam na given sa atin dito is a simple supported beam. Okay? So simple supported beam yung given natin dito so that para malaman natin dito yung ultimate bending moment or the maximum bending moment, what you can do here is pwede kayong mag-drawing ng moment diagram. Siyempre, from your theory of structures. However, kasi it will take some time para ma-determine natin yung maximum bending moment. So to reduce that time para makapag-solve ng maximum bending moment, what we need to do here is gagamit na lang ako dito ng isang simple formula. Okay? Or isang derived formula para makuha na natin dito yung maximum bending moment. Of course, dapat naka-ultimate condition tayo dito or naka-design condition tayo dito. So, ibig sabihin lang nito, maximum moment is equal to uniform load times L squared or the length of the beam squared over 8. So, if you're using this formula, this is very applicable lang pagdating ng simple supported beam together with a uniform load. Kasi kapag iba na yung loading condition and iba na rin yung ating supports on the beam, magbabago na rin po yung ating formula for the maximum bending moment. So for our simple supported beam with a uniform load, ito po yung corresponding formula that we will use here. So substitute lang natin yung given. What we have here is 40.26 40.808 then multiplied by 10 raised to 2 over 8. So that yung ating ultimate bending moment that we will use in our design is now equal to 510.101 kilonewton meter. So ibig sabihin na po ito class, yung ating ultimate bending moment is in this value. Ibig sabihin lang po niyan, dapat nakabase po dito yung number of reinforcements that we will use here. Okay? So we can now proceed in our first step, which is we need to determine the still ratio limits. So of course, we will use two limits here, the upper limit and the lower limit. Our upper limit here is the maximum still ratio, which is given by this derived formula, 3 over 7 multiplied by 0.85 multiplied by F prime C multiplied by the beta 1 divided by our yield strength. So substitute lang natin yung given na still ratio or yung mga given natin dito para makuha na natin dito yung maximum still ratio. So our value for our maximum still ratio is now equal to 0.0228. So of course, kailangan din natin ditong i-determine yung minimum still ratio. However, in our code provision, in the reinforcement limits, may dalawa tayong formula for the minimum still reinforcement, which is given by this formula. Okay? So our first minimum still ratio is equal to square root of F prime C divided by 4 multiplied by the yield strength. So by just simply substitute everything, makukuha natin for our first minimum still ratio is equal to 0.0034. So of course, we will having also the second minimum still ratio, which is using 1.4 over yield strength. So substitute lang natin dito para makuha natin dito yung second minimum still ratio, which is 0.0033. Okay? So of course, according to our code provision, para makapili na tayo dito ng ating minimum still ratio that we will use in conjunction with our maximum still ratio, what we need to do here is we need to choose the largest among these two values. And very obvious that our minimum still ratio that we will select is equal to 0.0034. So, ibig sabihin lang po niyan class, sa ating still ratio limits, kailangan kapag nakuha na natin yung ating actual still ratio, we need to compare if this will lower or mas mababa pa dito sa ating minimum still ratio or baka lumagpas na siya sa ating maximum still ratio. Okay? Which is ito yung magiging second step natin. Our second step here is we need to determine the actual still ratio. So obviously, ang pinaka-essential lang dito na given is yung ating given na bending moment. That's why using this derived formula para makuha natin yung value ng ating actual still ratio, and then we need to substitute yung mga nakuha natin kanina. Okay? So, on this substituted equation natin, isa na lang po yung ating unknown, which is the actual still ratio. So, our actual still ratio is now equal to 0.022. However, hindi pa tayo natatapos dito kasi class, we need to compare once again with our still ratio limits. So, as you observe or kung obserbahan natin dito sa ating comparison ng actual still ratio and minimum still ratio, lumalabas dito class na yung actual still ratio natin is hindi pa siya lumalagpas doon sa ating or di pa siya bumababa doon sa ating minimum still ratio. Na ibig sabihin lang po niyan class, okay po yun. Okay? Kasi nga class, kapag mas mababa yung ating actual still ratio sa minimum still ratio, obviously, ang pinakang gagamitin na natin overall in our design is yung minimum still ratio. Pero since hindi pa nga siya bumababa sa ating minimum still ratio, satisfies pa rin yung ating condition. However, class, ito yung kailangan ninyong tignan. In comparison with our maximum still ratio, yung ating actual still ratio is hindi pa siya lumalagpas dito sa value na ito. Kasi class, sabi ko nga kanina, kapag lumagpas yung ating actual still ratio sa maximum still ratio, ibig sabihin lang po no, yung beam section natin class, you cannot no longer design this as a singly reinforced beam. You will now design this as a doubly reinforced beam. But since na satisfy yung condition natin for our steel ratio limits, we will still stick sa ating singly reinforced beam design. Okay? So, after that, kapag nakuha na natin yung ating actual steel ratio na gagamitin, yung legitimate value, what we can do here is we need to determine the number of rebars. Especially, ilang 24 millimeter diameter yung magkakasya dito sa ating beam. So of course, para makuha muna natin yung total steel area, what we need to do here is we need to recall on the formula for our steel ratio. Steel ratio is equal to the total number of main reinforcement, yung area itself, divided by the gross area. Yung gross area natin dito, recall lang na ibig sabihin ng punot is area bounded by our effective depth. That's why yung derived formula ko dito is width of the beam multiplied by effective depth. So cross-multiply ko lang para makuha ko directly yung total steel reinforcement. Okay? Total area of steel reinforcement. Then substitute lang natin yung mga values which is the actual steel ratio which is equal to 0.022, width of the beam which is equal to 310, and our effective depth which is equal to 488. So our total area of steel reinforcement, this is now equal to 3,334.457 square millimeters. Okay, ibig sabihin lang nito class, itong tensile reinforcement natin, ito dapat yung total area na kailangan niya. Okay? Dahil nga, kapag sinubstitute na natin siya dito, and also, para makuha na natin kung ilan yung piraso, i-divide na lang natin siya sa individual area ng ating 24 millimeter reinforcement. Okay? So by simply substitute, ang makukuha na natin ditong number of total reinforcement is 7.371. Of course, kailangan natin siyang i-round up so that you will use here 8 pieces. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, yung magkakasya dito, assuming sa ating single layer, is 8 pieces of 24 millimeter of the diameter of our reinforcement. Okay? Tapos, emphasis lang natin na kapag kayo ay magde-design, especially using this bending moment, please take note na may gagamitin kayo ditong reduction factor. But since we are designing here a tension controlled section, dapat yung gagamitin natin ditong value for our reduction factor is equal to 0.9. And also, yung ating yielding strength dito, dapat yung yielding strength na given sa problem. Kasi nga, sabi ko nga kanina, kapag tayo ay magde-design ng simple singly reinforced section, as much as possible, kailangan maging tension control, or should I say, maging under reinforced, no? Para at least unang muna mag-yield yung ating steel before yung ating concrete. Okay? That's why yung naging answer natin dito for our tension controlled section, this is now equal to 8 pieces of 24 millimeter diameter.